Welcome to Expand Your Empire, the podcast where women stop deferring wealth and start building financial power. I'm Amanda Taylor, investor, strategist, and disruptor of outdated money rules. It's time to own your worth, grow your assets, and build a legacy that lasts. All right, guys, welcome back. I am so excited to be here today with Miss PJ Ashley. I had the honor and I think the accidental privilege of meeting her in New York. She ended up in a room full of a bunch of us crazy people from the Heroes Roar book series at the Stevie Awards in New York. And I got to talk to her and a couple of the people within her company. And immediately when I talked to her, I was like, I know I need to have you as a guest on the podcast. So PJ is the CEO and founder of the Pillar Code, and we're going to learn much more about what that is today. She's got over 20 years of corporate leadership experience, 35 or more years in the holistic and intuitive healing space. I'm really into that. I'm into this Pillar Code thing. We're going to hear a lot more about that. And she's helped a lot of individuals and a lot of organizations really awaken their potential, lead consciously, and transform with purpose and power. So, PJ, thank you for joining me from the other side of the world. How are you doing today?
You're welcome, Amanda. It's exciting to be here and connect once again. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Pillar Code. I had, we were sitting at a happy hour that we all ended up at, and I was talking to one of your practitioners, and she's explaining to me what you do, and I'm just sitting there with my mouth open. I'm like, wait, tell me, what is this? Tell me more. And she's like, no, this lady over here, that lady over there, she came up with the whole thing. So tell my audience what is the Pillar Code as much as you can and how you work with people.
So, the Pillar Code is a modality. So, that means it's actually a healing system that's been recognized, and we're a registered modality in 39 countries across the globe, which is exciting. And a lot of people go, is it coaching? We're going, it's more than coaching. Is it guidance? Is it business guidance? It's more than that. So it really is a bridge between science and spirit, or a bridge between the analytical and the intuitive. And I believe that's the only way we're going to move forward in this changing time on the planet, that we actually bridge both the Western and Eastern, the left brain, the right brain. And so it really is, it's a healing program, but it also incorporates guidance, messaging. The client goes through a 12-week program with one of the licensed practitioners, and it really it takes them through a journey it's really exciting to go through. It's really interesting to see where you are in your present, what in your past has been still anchoring you into your shadow, and where are you into your future. And that's the value and the finance and the manifestation of what you're creating in your life, but what's holding you back from that. And then it's allowing you to see all levels of your consciousness, which is sitting in your highest power consciousness, which is subconscious, unconscious, void consciousness. And it's like we're in this crossroads and we never know where we're at. And the Pillar Code codes exactly where you are, how to get out of it, how to move forward. And it's like it flingshots you into the life you're choosing, but it's all about truth. It's a journey of truth.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I know people hear that and they're like, wait, I thought this was a finance podcast, but
Mhm.
I have talked a lot about that on this podcast before because I am going through my own personal intuitive uh internal journey through the whole thing. And it is a deep rooted story that we have around our money too. And I've had a somatics practitioner on here before where we've talked about that piece of the money. But as far as money being energy, I think that kind of comes out in this too. So we're going to talk about a lot of other things besides money because
Yeah,
I do truly believe that wealth is a full body experience. It is holistic. It is emotional,
absolutely.
mental, physical, spiritual. It's more than just trading tips and investment strategies. It is a whole picture of a person. So That was why I was excited to bring you on today. When people come to you, do you see all kinds of things that they need help with? Do you see something over and over again? Why do people say, I need to work with you?
There are three main things. It's make your peace with your past. So they come in stressed, cannot get rid of the past, depression, PTSD, trauma, fixated on things that have happened in the past. Find their purpose in the present. They cannot find, see, or know their purpose. They feel like there's no meaning in life. And with everything that's happening in the world at the moment, it's escalating that. And the third anchor is then they're finding their prosperity. And it is they've lost their finance, they've lost their value, they've lost their wealth, they may have gone through a divorce, or they've just lost their footing somehow and they don't know how to create and manifest. So it what we deliver is make peace with your past, find your purpose in your present to create the prosperity to keep you in your engaged in your future. So what they come in with, they're stressed, they're completely overwhelmed, they're stuck, they don't know where they are. Generally, people are struggling with finances about what to do with it, where to go, purpose, relationships, and they know there's more to them, but they can't access it. And one of the main things that we speak about is value. And value is our pillar 7. It's all around positivity. If you don't have value, you don't have wealth. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the spiritual realm, a lot of the people in spiritual work, or a lot of people who are, connecting into that, you have to go into your higher consciousness, dismiss finance and they dismiss prosperity. And that is not source. That is not a universal love consciousness. Whether it is God, love, I call it good God, love consciousness. That's how I'm comfortable calling it, no matter how someone wants to call it. God does not choose us to be poor. It is the opposite. And yet, so many spiritual practices are, you must maintain your poverty to understand soul wealth. Well, I don't resonate with that whatsoever. Because my favorite saying is the best thing you can do for the poor is not be one yourself.
Wow, that's powerful because I do work with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs. I have, helped them grow their business, and it is a huge mindset shift for them to switch to
Yeah.
admitting, for one, and accepting that they want to grow their wealth, that they want to charge more money, that they want to be paid for their services, even because it is that, oh, I should be helping, I should be sacrificing, and that just leads to burnout, number one. And
Yeah,
how can you serve from an empty wallet? I'll say that, not just
absolutely.
energy wise, but I'm part of a movement with a woman here, and I've done many of her programs, and I'm working with her closely, and she's started $1 billion impact to raise money for nonprofits. How can we do that if we're
Mhm.
not making the money
Yeah,
ourselves? Where
yeah,
does that goodness and philanthropy come from if we don't have it to give? So I say that all the time, as the spiritual entrepreneurial space is overrun with good-hearted
yeah.
people
Broke.
who are broke.
Good people. Yeah. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it just it makes my blood boil and it makes me, it very, very sad for the fact people believe they have to exchange a gift for nothing. And we've come out of the creation of community, and community is you are the best butcher and you are the best barber and you are the best teacher and you are the best healer and you are the best mother and you are the best policeman, and you exchanged in this beautiful synchronicity of value, and everybody was building their wealth because their wealth was them, their own gift. And then when people devalue themselves, that's when they're beholden to somebody else. And I am passionate that we are independent in our way, in our collaborative community. And that means that we're a part of a community, that we're part of loving relationships, loving families, loving workplaces, our sporting teams, our hobbies, whoever your community is. But you're not beholden to anyone within that. You don't have to answer to anyone other than your higher self. And the poorer the people are on the planet, the more they have to bow down to and bend a knee to somebody else's will.
Yes, I could go off on a huge tangent about that, but
Hmm.
we'll save that for another
Hmm.
episode. But you're absolutely right. They create the reliance. Um, yes, 100%. So I love that. And, I'll use that to transition. One of the reasons, yes, I love the energetics. I love the balance of the logical and the spiritual because I'm going through, my own journey myself. And I actually, everybody who's listening today, you'll hear this episode probably a month after we record it, but I am starting my own 12-week journey in the pillar code today. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how that goes. Um,
Absolutely. We
because
can do a take
we get,
two and see how you're going.
yeah, we'll do a before and after. It is, and it's that every person I talk to lately over the last, I would say, 6 to 8 months, if we get into more than a surface level conversation, it gets to the heart of that. People are seeking so much deeper
Yeah.
connection, deeper value, deeper internal purpose,
Hmm.
and connection with that source, whatever you want to call it, because
Yeah.
we are in just such a disconnected world, even though
Yeah.
technologically connected, but disconnected from internal and external people. So um, I heard about this. I said, okay, sign me up. Let's do this. Because I'm always seeking to grow and to be better and to learn more about myself and about, I think when you learn about yourself, you learn about other people, you're better in relationships. Um, number one. And number two, there are so many of my clients that are in the midst of the same thing. And
Hmm.
that leads me to my next point is your business model.
Hmm.
I Once I heard about it, I'm like, as a business strategist and a business consultant, I'm like, that's it. You have the perfect business model. And that was really more of a reason that I wanted to interview on the podcast because I think so many people get into entrepreneurship. I could go off on like A, they probably shouldn't. B, they think they have to do it all alone. And then they wonder why they can't scale their business. And they don't
Yeah.
have the overarching view of, I'll just say it, global domination that you have in a
Yeah.
way that truly supports people. So all that to say, tell me and tell the audience about your business model because I love it. And I think it should be duplicated over and over again.
Well, to explain my business model, I've got to tell you where I've come from. I came from the corporate space, government and defence industry, worked in the top five Australian in the ASX companies, very, very large multinational global companies, and ran the government and defence portfolio for one of these companies and worked for a German military company. And so so that this is my background. I worked as an employee and I would watch burnout and burnout and burnout. And then as a female in a male dominated industry, I would actually see males being paid more than me. And yes, it still happens. Did everything I could about it. Every time a pay rise came, it's discussed. And I said, I need to be paid equally or more than my peers, depending on my performance, because I know I'm outperforming my males. And they couldn't look at me straight in the eye and go, yeah, you're getting the same as the males. And I knew that I wasn't. And then it came to, commissions and bonuses. And I found out that my boss was getting all my commissions, my bonuses. And I went, I am burning myself out for someone else's dream. And I loved my job. I loved it. And all they needed to do was just keep the ignition going, keep the reward, and keep that interest of what sparked me.
Mhm.
So then when I came to my own company, I went, I've led large teams. I've led lots and lots of people. And it's always the hardest part of your organization is the absenteeism, is the days off, people coming in sick, people should, you've got events coming on, all of a sudden people can't come in because their child's sick or their husband's done something or their dog's got run over. And it's just a constant, it's a constant battle. So my business is so vital for me. I mean, I need people who are coming into the organization who've got their own why, their own reason, not my why. And they may have their reason because it's they want to work from home. They might have their reason because they have the independence. They want to negotiate their income, the hours they want to work. It could be because they want to work lots of hours, because they want to work fewer hours. So the entire company, I am the only employee in my company. Everybody else is then a contractor. Even my EA, a full-time contractor, head of marketing, people do my social media, my practitioner trainers, my practitioner licensing team, and then all the practitioners that deliver our programs. So I have the license over programs. You can call it holistic personal development programs and professional progression programs, but they're holistic. They match the analytical and the intuitive, and which is why they bridge it together and they're so incredibly powerful. Then someone will come in and do our program and go, oh my goodness, I want to deliver this. So we have an online university, the Pillar Code University, and then we deliver training programs through the university and various means and ways and different programs. And so someone will come in and go, I would like to deliver your program, but I don't want them an employee. I want them as a businesswoman or man, but at the moment, we have 30 business women in the company. Men come and go, but that's a different thing. So we have 30 business women, and they all play incredibly important parts of the company's role, but they're their own CEO. So I teach them about being a CEO. I teach them about budgeting and their forecasting and what they're choosing for the year, their time off, booking in their holidays. If they only want to work 2 days a week, or if they want to work 5 days a week, how to do it, what to do, how to invoice me. So I am literally by not realizing I was doing it, I've become somebody who builds businesses, and they're sole traders. So it's building a business of being a sole trader, and it's creating value. And these people are bringing in money, paying off loans, buying houses, bringing investments in. They're putting their kids through schools. They're traveling. They're doing whatever they're choosing to do. They're understanding about exchange, tax, and building a business and knowing what to do with it. And then we teach them about, well, how to refer clients in. We are not a multi-level marketing company at all. I've got to put that out there straight away. Not that I've got anything against them, but we're not. So we're literally people come in and train and deliver. But then it's like, I don't want them just to trade time for dollars. So then how can they do that? So then I'm teaching them, you can go and find an organization who would like to put their leadership team through our programs. But if you sell that company, well, you don't have to deliver it. You can get the referral fees and send them to the other practitioners. And we've got practitioners in 7 different countries around the world at the moment and growing. So it's about how to free everybody up. And I will tell you, Amanda, that when someone's is at a certain point and their goals at another point, the point in difference is frustration and then procrastination and then low self-worth. So it's all about lifting the value to meet the goals, but also make sure the goals aren't sub their value, they're above their value, but they can keep aligning it. And that's why value is so important when it comes to wealth building.
I love it. You brought that right back in, the value piece. And I think we had talked about this when we just spoke offline about the habits that we create out of those beliefs that just keep that cycle going and keep us down here instead of moving up here. And that comes from our thought of our own value. And we just keep repeating this cycle down here and going further down. So
Yeah.
for anybody listening, sorry, you got to see my hand gestures to go to YouTube. But that's what it is. And something that you said that I love because I teach on it often with a lot of solopreneurs, sole traders, self-employed people. They're running their business like they are still an employee. And
Yeah.
you said it yourself, they need to be the CEO.
Hmm.
And it is a completely different
Hmm.
shift in how you operate and how you think and how you make decisions every day if you are
Absolutely.
coming at it from the mindset of a CEO, of a business owner. Even if you are the only one,
Hmm.
it's different, because I see the difference between a self-employed person who is usually treading water, trying to get to the end of the month, got to make sure they pay the bills. It's just one more deal, one more task,
Yeah.
versus somebody operating from a higher level view with those goals that you said and the strategic steps and tools to get there. It's just a completely different way to operate a business, with systems in place, with scalability, with all the things that you just said. And it makes life so much easier than trying to do that every month, get to the end of the month, get to the end of the month or week or what have you. And I see a lot of people get stuck in that cycle of, I'm just doing the tasks
Yeah.
like I would if I were an employee, versus I'm building my own empire here.
The tasks come from the mind. Yeah, so I personally take organizations through our program called the Corporate Code. The practitioners take individuals through the Pillar Code. And the Corporate Code, I'm always meeting, I call them managers who are stressed, and yet they're the owners, but they're the managers of their company. So one of the main things we go through as we go through the program is, and I'm going to get woo-woo on here, is literally bringing that soul back into alignment. Because when you're the walking dead state, and we've got an epidemic of the walking dead state at the moment, you are mind and you are body. The mind loves a task, and the body then needs to action it. If you are not soul aligned and you haven't got that conscious energy within you, then you are a manager of your organization or a manager of your life. You're not the CEO. And the CEO stands for consciously energized organizer. So when you are consciously energized, that's your soul alignment. And then you can organize matters, organize your life, and bring the manager in and deliver the task to the manager, which is the mind. The body then needs to be fit, and that the body in an organization is the team. It needs to be fit and ready to move and action at any point in time. The manager has to take the direction from the soul, though. So the soul is like the board. The board sets the strategy, gives it to the managers to deliver, and the managers then give it to the team to action. That's when you're all in alignment. That's when magic happens. That's when you can create. That's when you can manifest. Things flow. You're in that sense of ease. And so many people are in a trauma state. Their soul is just shifting off to the side, and they can't hear the answer from the soul. They can't hear the direction. And a mind that is soulless is a mind with a virus. And that will keep people awake at night, depression, trauma, sabotage, addictions, anything to try and feel, but but they're literally in a numb state. So anyone trying to lift their finances and lift their value, if they're feeling numb, they're actually going to be very frustrated, and they will be in procrastination, because literally what they're waiting for is they're waiting for that soul alignment to click back in.
That's excellent. You made a bunch of points that I wanted to come back to, but I'll go with the last one. Is, what are those signs? I call it functional freeze. I think that's an actual term now, functional freeze, the zombie state, that we are
Mm.
just getting through the
Mm.
day. Um,
Yeah.
and it is task based. Like, I just have to do these things. That is a functioning human being, and that's
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
I think that is happening more and more and more. And we're putting on the face and we're doing the things, but we are soulless, so to speak. And so you're right. So what are the signs if somebody, either they kind of know they're in it, but they're not quite sure what's going on, or they don't even notice? They're just in repetitive task mode all the time. You mentioned frustration, and I know, for me personally, I'm into human design. I'm a generator, and I know when I'm not in alignment, my key behavior is frustration. Like, that is my go-to, and I know I need to
Mm.
check myself here. But so frustration and stress and not sleeping, but I hear that from everybody.
Yeah.
So is everybody
It-
there, or
There's
do we have
there,
certain things?
there really is an epidemic of The Walking Dead, and the 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 planet consciousness is rising.
Yes.
We are, when people sit there and go, "Oh my God, it's all doom and gloom," I go, "Look, that is the shadow timeline. We have two timelines, and yes, if you're on audio, I'm showing you the railway tracks. You have a shadow timeline, you have a light consciousness timeline, and so many people have got their nose in the shadow. They're going, the world is on a one-way collision to disaster. It is in the shadow side, but it has its equal and opposite, which is already there, and it's already in its light consciousness of the awakening. And it's the planet is bringing truths up like we've never seen before. They're popping like popcorn all over the place. Light consciousness has already lifted, and now everybody's looking at, oh my goodness, what's happening? Where am I now? What's going on? Where am I? What's the purpose of the planet? They don't know if they're in that shadow, they're the light, they're jumping in between. But I will tell you, it's very, very exciting what is happening on this light consciousness, and that's what wins out. How you know if you're in the Walking Dead state? The soul is where our path, our purpose, our passion, our prosperity is. When I used to talk about this about 13, 14 years ago, I went, I can't talk about The Walking Dead. That is so rude. I can't say someone's in a zombie state. We all have been in it. We all can go into it. We can all come out of it. But I went, that's just so rude. Then I started talking to soldiers, veterans. My passion is to help first responders and soldiers and veterans. That's my background. When I say to a veteran, look, I need you to know you're in the Walking Dead state, and the instant reaction is, oh my God, that's explaining my life. People are coming forward more and more owning that. So how do you know if you're in the Walking Dead state? You don't feel a purpose, and you don't even see a purpose for anything. If you get at a blocked down the road, someone with a soul alignment go, great, something new to experience. Or what are they saving me from up the road? There must be something, and I'm just going to try a different way. What am I going to, I'm going to drive past that house I really wanted to buy. Um, that's someone with a soul alignment. Someone who's not a soul alignment go, everything's always mucking up, nothing's working out for me. I always get blocked, I always get stopped, world's gone to shit, all of that, right? Passion, libido goes, hormones will go out of whack. People will talk about menopause. Get your soul in alignment. I tell you what happens to menopause, it goes out the door. There's no need for it. There's all sorts of things will happen to you physiologically when your soul is off, because your body is desperately trying to talk to you and wake you up. So you'll be in more pain because the body's trying to come through and go, we need, it's like shouting, we need to talk to you. We need, like, please listen, get the soul back in. Prosperity cannot stay. It can come in, but it can't stay. And it's like a revolving door, because the soul doesn't want you to be aligned to something and keep prosperity. If your soul's not there, you'll go, I'm fine being the Walking Dead in my mind and body state. But mainly really stressed, overwhelmed, and stuck. You'll okay, when the soul is in alignment, you still have stresses, you still will get overwhelmed, and you'll still get stuck, but you'll know there's meaning for it, there's reason for it, and you'll be excited to get the messages for it. Um, it's yeah, and it's very, very, very easy and very quick to bring the soul in when the soul knows it's safe to actually walk the walk of that person's life and business.
That's great. I love that. I love that you said that you will still have stress. Like that's not
Yeah,
just going to magically go away, but
no,
it's our perspective on it and how we look at it.
yeah,
So thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I'll go back to the prosperity part, because that is the essence of, what I'm doing here on this podcast. And you said something, and I want everybody to hear it again. We it can come and it can go, but we
mm,
can't hold on to it if the rest of the stuff isn't in order, I think is what you're saying.
yeah,
Like it's and I've I hear people talk about your beliefs, whether you understand it or not, are deflecting your success and all, the woo-woo stuff, like if you think it, then you're deflecting it and your subconscious and all of these things. And so, I've seen evidence of that. And I've seen evidence on the other side of a person who's going into something that should never happen. And she's like, these people are lucky to talk to me today. And they're going to be so happy that they get to do this, even though they told me they couldn't. And it
Mhm.
happens. And it's just, you look at it like, are you crazy? But that whole piece of the prosperity and what it takes to get there, because so many people in my community, in my groups that I work with, are in this mode of, if I just work more, if I just get better deals, if I just do something harder, if I get more degrees, whatever it is, then I'll be prosperous. Then I'll get wealthy. I'll do something.
Yeah,
But there's more to it, right?
there's more to it. The universal law of giving and receiving, it doesn't say the universal law of receiving then giving. This is a fundamental basis for how we are as an exchange of energy. Energy is physics. It's not, it is not woo-woo. It's straight up physics. We understand energy. You cannot create it. You cannot destroy it, but it can shift and morph around you. So the universal law is giving and then receiving. One of the things that we do within our programs is we say the very first thing that we will be wanting you to be aware of is the moment you paid for the program, that money will manifest back to you in some unusual way. And that's from the individual program all the way through to my really large corporate programs. They will just call me, and if I had $1 for every time someone said, PJ, you won't believe it, but so as soon as you get alignment, everything just starts flowing in synchronicity with you. But if your value is not matching, then it can't maintain. And one of the best ways of value to match it is gratitude. And you find it very hard to be grateful if you're not soul aligned. So gratitude helps anchoring it in. And I know it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard for people just to get off the lounge. I know that. Sometimes people can have disease, disorders, dysfunctions, stresses, financial disasters, and it's so, so, so difficult to be grateful. But start with the smallest thing, the flower outside your window, a tiny bit of blue sky. Start with the gratitude because it's the fuel for value. Once you start for value on the external, you can start to have the value on the internal. But once you start understanding that you give to receive and you don't, when you give, you receive, you don't give to receive. Giving is the first thing, and that can be giving trust in someone to help them with their financial path, and then the receiving comes in. It could be the first $1,000 they put towards their financial investment and to test the waters, and then it comes back, and then they're giving more and it comes back. But the money's not going to come into them unless they do the first thing in the first place. And so people mistaken, and we call this a fog energy. Fog is shadow, it's contrast. Fog is wanting to exaggerate your negatives. When people say, I will be happy when, that's fog energy because a fog or shadow energy knows it's the opposite of the universal law. So it is no, be happy now, and then you will receive whatever it is you're choosing. So when you're saying, I will start my financial journey when, that's fog saying, we're going to delay you and delay you and delay you. I will start saving when. I will start doing this when. I will do this after the kids leave school, after I become married, after I've saved this, after I've paid off my house. I say to people, it's like going to the doctor and you've got an infection and the doctor says you need antibiotics, and you say, thank you, doctor, I'll take the antibiotics after I get better. I'll come back and get them. Like it's just stupidity. But this is the energy that is out there. Literally our world's been inverted. It has been inverted the wrong way. So we won't succeed. We won't be in our path. We won't make peace with the past, let it go. So we're actually centered in peace now. We won't know the purpose for everything that's happening. all our messages, our body messaging, our body alignment, what's happening to us, our financial messaging. We won't understand that there's a value to us. And then the prosperity can only come after the other two have happened, peace and purpose. So if fog, shadow, your destruction is going to not allow you to make peace, not understand there's a reason for you, there's more for you, you have a reason to be on this planet now, there's a purpose for you, then if you're not getting that, you are going to be chasing prosperity like it's fairy floss, it's going to melt in your hands. Make peace, find your purpose. Prosperity is naturally the next step. You won't be able to stop it flowing in.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's exactly why I wanted you on this podcast, because I think people need to understand. And from the minute I started this whole journey, I was just doing the thing. I was the investor. I was doing it, and I realized I was the only woman in most rooms. And I'm like, well, more of us need to be in here. Let's go teach women how to invest. And then once I started that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not going to work. Because of that reason right there. It doesn't matter how much we know or how much we do if we do not deep inside believe that we have that value and are capable and confident in all these things. So thank you for proving my point, PJ.
Anytime. You're welcome.
You're doing the work. So I could talk to you all day. I'm very excited about how you're giving women opportunity to be their own CEO, to have their own flexible business. I love that. And the healing that you're doing for so many people and so many corporations. And stay tuned for my own journey with the Pillar Code. And then depending on how things go, perhaps we bring that whole into the Expand Your Empire program, because I know the energetics has to match the actual investment strategies and financial tools. So it's all a perfect combination, I think. So thank you for joining me today from Australia. You're in Friday, I'm in Thursday, but we're here together. Technology is an amazing thing. Tell us how we can reach you and get in touch with you and learn more about the Pillar Code and how we can work with you and your practitioners.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the website, which is thepillarcode.com. And pillar is like the vessel, it's the column, it's being the pillar of strength in your own life, mind, body, and business. So thepillarcode.com, you can see there. And ask to have a chat. Love to talk to you. Come and have a chat with me. And try it. What we say is, I can connect you with one of the practitioners, and have a complimentary appointment on me, or come talk to me about your business. Love to talk all things value, finance, and waking up the world.
This woman is amazing. I'm going to have all of her contact information in the show notes. I'm going to have you back after I complete my Pillar Code. We'll have a little refresh on everything, and we'll get to talk about that with the audience. So thank you again for joining me today, PJ. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right. We'll talk soon. Let me stop the recording. If this lit something up, share it, review it, and get in the room. Join the Expand Your Empire community and start turning wisdom into wealth. You're not too late, and you're not doing this alone.